Yes. Thank you. Hello. Like I think the sound for who are in the back is a little low. So I don't know. It's okay there? I'm a little nervous. It's the first time that I'm doing presentation in English. And of course you are like a special audience. And I'm really happy because this format of gathering, get together, is kind of like very special for the times that we are now, right, in the world. And being radical is being hard. We are in hard times. But being radical is a practice of everyday life also, right? So gatherings or conferences like that, this get-together, play a role on my life, a very important role. Was the way that I found my love in the middle of the Amazon. Was the way that I got pregnant. I didn't fuck in the middle of the conference, I'm sorry, but I found friends, I found lovers, I found my best friends, and also people that I got connected for so long in my life. So what I will present here, I'm not techie savvy, I would say to you, I'm more techie sassy, I would say. But I came from a generation of, I think the first generation of the internet in Brazil. And a first generation who did a lot for the internet in a cultural sense, like designing projects, thinking a better world using the connectivity, right? But why we suggest to bring like this, when we applied, this project was being like, it's a working process project. So we started actually in 2018, but it has a long way behind that, like in the past, who made like three of us, which is me, Giseli, Chris Ribas, and Tati, three Brazilians from different places, working remotely pretty much all first semester on this project. And but the way that got us together to do this was because we believe that the internet culture in our culture, in Brazilian culture, had like a very contribution really specific for us, you know? In a counterculture, contribution was very important for us. So it's a kind of way to go back in the past 20 years, right? And we have 20 years of internet in Brazil, and go to the first decade and check what we did, right, during these years. And anyway, during like this 20 years, a lot of changes, like technological changes we saw, but also we saw changes in our lives. The internet, like the connectivity, actually made us change our position in the world. As I said before, and most of the women that I know who are involved in these networks, pretty much in Brazil, I would say in Latin America too, like during the 20 years or 15 years, got pregnant, divorced, you know. So we are not all the time on the scene. We're not all the time doing something related to the networks in that sense. But we were working. And we see, of course, all the political changes and all the technical political roles playing in our lives too. So this project is about backups, a bunch of websites and archives, like files, that we had lost, kind of, during this decade, like pretty much from the first decade. Wix, Wakas, full of spams and virus. Free, like independent hosts who are like got from federal police, like got arrested and disappear with all our websites. Anyway, like not payment for the web server or web host. Anyway, we lost a lot from our production for the first decade. And the project that came out this year was, okay, what about if we start to check the story again by the publications that we had on the web, and pretty much digital publications, and which means books, which means documents, articles, tutorials, manuals, whatever, all written in Portuguese, and all available, all distributed and produced by Brazilians, right? I'm like I'm trying to be, I'm not talking about Latin America, I'm talking about Brazil because it's like a continental, like it's huge. And so we are, for now, like looking, magnifying like this aspects from our country. But of course we want to get read in the beginning of the last decade. In the media free radio, people believed the orange, the way that the system worked in Brazil. This is not exactly the beginning of in the middle of the first decade. And so I'm talking about 2000. What the democracy was, for example, the social forum in 2002. After that, we designed, because most of like the people in the mailing lists, so in blogs, but they collaborated to the net time had like a Latino net time. Point the Latino net time trying and the world in the interest was to make a collab in Latin America. So we get a bunch of groups and we decided to Brazil. And this is no the sequence of facts, because it was exactly like the for the world social forum, like the festival that we people collaborating, which was kind of like 5 days, fully open, and put together what is the sense of that, like we did a lot, but in so but anyway, it was a bunch of a sequence of gatherings with festivals, labs, like guides, platforms. So it was a sequence of in the 10 minutes already. Whoa, I need to run. So a sequence of events and initiatives happened. So I'm gonna put this video a little bit. Well, I don't have like it's like the problem is.
Yeah, it's okay. Try again. Sonic.
I don't want to skip the videos because no, like show you programs of took like enthusiastic second mandate to of networks that march like on